The State Governor Safinat Ahmed Ododo flag off the event in Lokoja on behalf of the First Lady. Ajibola Christopher reports.
Access to sanitary pads helps girls feel more comfortable and confident, preventing embarrassment or stigma associated with menstruation. Representing the First Lady at the event in Lokoja, wife of the State Governor Safinat Ahmed Usman Ododo describes the initiative as a timely intervention aimed at breaking the silence and stigma surrounding menstruation. Haja Safinat emphasizes that access to sanitary products remains a major challenge for many young girls, often leading to absenteeism from school and, in some cases, dropped out entirely. She further noted that the Flow with Confidence program aligns with broader national effort to promote girls' child education, health awareness, and gender equality.
To our traditional, religion, and community leaders, we cannot do this without your support. I urge you to monitor this distribution exercise in your communities and ensure to support our guests.
Stakeholders in education describe it as a strategic move towards addressing menstrual hygiene challenges and fostering a more inclusive learning environment for girls. Beneficiaries drawn from public secondary schools across Kogi State expressed gratitude for the intervention, noting that the donation will significantly ease the burden on their families and encourage consistent school attendance. The Flow with Confidence initiative is expected to be replicated across all states, ensuring that thousands of schoolgirls nationwide benefit from the distribution of sanitary pads and accompanying sensitization programs on menstrual health and hygiene. Ajibola Christopher, NT News.
As Nigeria continues to face challenges of erratic power supply, high energy cost and limited rail connectivity, a major infrastructure proposal linking gas, power and high-speed rail has been presented to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu through the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. Correspondent Ibrahim Danhamidu reports that beyond the presentation, regulatory oversight and multi-agency collaboration are now central to moving the project forward.
At the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation in Abuja, the proposal by the SADEL Consortium seeks to introduce a high-speed rail train network powered by an integrated gas-to-energy system. The project, presented by the Chief Executive Officer of the consortium, Samuel Uko, draws on private sector expertise in large-scale infrastructure and regional connectivity, positioning it as a potential solution to Nigeria's transport and energy gaps.
So we are willing to invest with a multinational oil company to get the gas from the source, to increase the production.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, who received the proposal on behalf of the President, says the initiative reflects government's drive to strengthen critical infrastructure through strategic partnerships.
The federal government recognizes the importance of infrastructure investment as a catalyst for economic growth. However, government also has a responsibility to safeguard national interest, ensuring transparency, accountability, and rigorous due diligence in evaluating large-scale investment proposals.
Key regulatory oversight will be provided by the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission, the ICRC, which supervises public-private partnership projects. In Abuja, I'm Ibrahim Danhamidu, NTA News.
The Trade Union Congress of Nigeria is urging the federal government to channel gains from rising crude oil revenues into measures that will ease the cost of living for Nigerians, especially amid the impact of the Middle East crisis. President of the union, Festus Osifo, made this known during a well-pressed briefing in Abuja. Joseph Oten reports.
Rising global oil prices triggered by tension in the Middle East continues to impact Nigeria's economy, with citizens grappling with high fuel costs and increasing living expenses. Against this backdrop, the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria says proceeds from excess crude earnings should be strategically reinvested to cushion the effect on Nigerians.
Take at least 60% of that excess fund, then use it to subsidize the crude that is being supplied to Dangote refinery. So when the cost of that feedstock reduces, then it means that the country price is also going to reduce. The same way they will do it for Dangote refineries, all other marginal refineries, all other modular refineries that predominantly produces AGO, crude should be supplied to them at that rate.
The union is also stressing the need for the federal government to ensure all state-owned refineries are fully operational, while calling for policies that will strengthen the Naira and ease transportation costs. Joseph Otsen, NTA News.
Now, India continue beat at skilling efforts for average Nigerian to further reap the impact of democracy. The Northern Local Government Chairman's Forum met in Kano to boost collaboration among councils with robust focus on grassroots to benefit on the President's renewed hope agenda. Elizabeth Ila Lamido reports.
The forum brings together local government chairmen from across northern Nigeria to deliberate on governance, development, and administrative issues affecting their councils before such matters are escalated to the national level. Addressing participants at the meeting, the outgoing chairman of the forum, Bala Usman Chamo, described the platform as vital for unity, collaboration, and effective representation of local governments in the region. Anani was subsequently inaugurated as the 16th chairman of the forum, pledging to consolidate existing structures and work collectively to promote sustainable development across northern Nigeria's local governments.
I will do it to the best of my ability, with your support, with your advice, with your own cooperation.
The forum concluded on a note of renewed commitment, with participants emphasizing the importance of unity, collaboration, and proactive engagement in addressing local governance challenges. In Kano, Elizabeth Yilalamido, NTA News.
Now, many civil and public servants in Nigeria continue to live from paycheck to paycheck due to limited understanding of budgeting, investment, and long-term financial planning. But the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, is stepping in to change that narrative by empowering its workforce with essential financial literacy skills to secure their future. Maria Aduzakari reports.
Financial literacy plays a vital role in how effectively individuals manage their resources and remain compliant with financial regulations. Yet, for many public servants, it is still the missing link in their financial journey. A 2023 survey by the Central Bank of Nigeria shows that only 26% of Nigerian adults are financially literate, leaving the majority vulnerable to debt, poor investment choices, and inadequate retirement planning. To change this narrative, the management of the Nigerian Television Authority is empowering its staff with practical financial management skills, from budgeting and savings discipline to investment options and pension optimization, helping them make informed decisions and secure a brighter financial future.
We should see our income like a seed, not like something to consume. The essence of it is not just to consume, to buy the best wig, the best bags, to go to Dubai during holiday with family, but you cannot be using your salary for all of this and still expect to have financial freedom.
Without discipline in managing and growing our income, financial pressure is inevitable.
This forum is expected to boost staff capacity in handling their finances. Maria Aduzakari, NTA News.
It's now time to pause for a break. The news continues after the break. You're still watching NTA Network News, Panorama rather. The federal government and Ohanaeze Ndigbo have jointly banned the coronation of Eze Ndigbo in foreign countries, calling it an embarrassment. In a statement by the media aide to the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Dr. Magnus Eze, disclosed that Bianca Ojukwu made the position of the government known at the meeting of Imiobi in Enugu, the highest decision-making body of Ohaneze Ndigbo worldwide, that such titles have caused a violent backlash abroad. Just weeks ago, the coronation of an Eze Ndigbo in South Africa's Eastern Cape, following the controversial coronation of Nigerian Igbo leader Solomon Ogbonna Eziko as Eze Ndigbo na East London, Igbo King in East London. The event sparked an outcry from local residents, traditional leaders and political parties, leading to violence, the torching of foreign-owned vehicles and looting, with the South African government calling it illegal. A similar quick notice crisis erupted in Ghana last July, according to the minister, where she had led a delegation to Accra to douse the tension as Ghanaian protesters demanded Nigerians must leave their country. The minister urged Ohaneze Ndigbo to prescribe sanctions for any persons flouting its directive, abolishing Igbo traditional rulership outside Igbo land. The statement further stated that Ohaneze President General Senator Azuta Mbata declared the title prescribed outside Igbo land, abolishing Eze Ndigbo title in diaspora with village-level sanctions for violators. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has arrested 31 suspected internet fraudsters at an internet fraud academy situated in Bekki Estate, Karu, Abuja. A statement by the head of media and publicity of the commission, Dele Oyewale, says the suspects were arrested in an operation while undergoing internet fraud tutorials, and items recovered from them include phones, laptop, computers and other gadgets. Investigations by the EFCC revealed that some of the interns were lured all the way from Benue State by the academy proprietors with the promise of job offers, but upon arriving at the facility were handed communication devices, computers and software, setting the stage for their training in cyber fraud. To enforce compliance and dedication, the proprietors house the recruits in the academy and restrict their movements within the parameters of the facility and forcibly took possession of their mobile phones, thus totally cutting them off from the outside world. The suspects will be charged to court as soon as investigations are concluded. The Nigerian police force has dismissed a viral video claiming a terrorist attack in Abuja, describing it as false, misleading, and designed to cause panic. In a statement, investigations reveal the footage was manipulated from online sources to spread fear and undermine public confidence. Police have arrested one Pam Joseph linked to creation and circulation of the video following intelligence and digital forensic tracking. The force warns that spreading false information threatens public safety and urges citizens to verify content before sharing. The suspect remains in custody and will be charged to court. Efforts to strengthen trust and cooperation between law enforcement agencies and the public have taken center stage in Jigawa State as the police command intensifies community engagement initiatives aimed at improving security and service delivery. At the forum, which brought together key stakeholders, the State Police Commissioner Haruna Alaba Yahaya underscores the importance of collective responsibility in tackling crime and enhancing intelligence gathering across communities. Awal Muhammad Kazauri reports.
The forum is a part of efforts to enhance collaboration between the police and the public for effective policing.
Police cannot achieve its goal without building trust with members of the public. The members of the public are everywhere, but police surely is not everywhere. but with firm cooperation between the members of the public and the police, we can be able to secure our society.
He reaffirmed the command's commitment to people-friendly policing strategies aimed at improving intelligence gathering and service delivery. The engagement shared concern and suggestions on improving security.
And the women are engaged, I think, kind of 50, 60, 70% of the issue is being tackled.
These very important people gathered here and share the same issues and discuss many things.
Participants called for quicker response to distress calls, better communication and professionalism among officers while commending the initiative. The event featured interactive sessions addressing challenges such as restiveness and drug abuse. Awal Muhammad Kazauri, NTA News.
The Nigerian Immigration Service has condemned alleged cases of extortion involving its personnel along the Lagos-Seme border corridor. In a statement, the Service Public Relations Officer, Akinshola Akinlabi, says the Comptroller General of Immigration, Kemi Nandap, has ordered an immediate investigation into the incidents. The statement notes that the controller in charge of the affected commands have been relieved of their duties pending the outcome of the probe. The service describes the alleged misconduct as unacceptable and a violation of its operational standards. It urges members of the public to report cases of misconduct through its official communication channels, assuring that appropriate disciplinary action will be taken. The Nigerian Immigration Service reiterates its commitment to professionalism, transparency, and accountability in its operations. That's how state government, in collaboration with the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is intensifying efforts to create awareness on the ongoing voters' registration exercise in the state. The sensitization, which is to cover the 13 local government areas of the state, is being facilitated by the State Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism. Balkisu Gurku reports.
Sensitization is to ensure that the message reaches the grassroots for optimum impact. The first port of call is the palace of the Emir of Kefi, where the Commissioner for Information, Culture and Tourism, Dr. Tanko Ibrahim, said the objective of the campaign is to educate citizens in the state on the ongoing continuous voter registration and called on all citizens in the state to participate in the democratic process.
Without registration, even the most passionate citizen cannot contribute to shaping leadership or influencing governance.
The Public Relations Officer of INEC in the state, Issa Oga, encouraged all eligible voters to come out and get registered as he debunks the insinuations of payment before registration or collection of cards. He encouraged citizens that the process is free and also advised stakeholders to pass accurate information to the public. The Emir of Kefi, Dr. Shehu Chindoya Musa, commended the Ministry of Information for initiating the campaign and promised to mobilize all eligible voters in Kefi zone to participate in the exercise.
We must appreciate the Independent Electoral Commission for their effort to execute their functions and responsibility to the citizens of this country.
Bilkisu Umar Gulku, NTA News.
A more sustainable strategy to strengthen agricultural productivity, value chain and market linkages among smallholder farmers in the country have been identified as a critical component to making agriculture an investment hub. Johannes Ohasambaro reports that participants place premium on sustainability, nutrition and market access on how best to expand and improve food production and livelihood.
Series of agricultural interventions introduced by the federal and subnational governments in the country are delivering visible impact on farming communities. Through the provision of improved seeds, fertilizers, simple mechanization tools, tractors and training support, farmers are recording better yields, reduced post-harvest losses and improved household incomes. It is against this backdrop that stakeholders from across the country and beyond have converged on Abuja to review progress and chart the next phase of agricultural transformation.
Unlimited access to finance require even stronger collaboration.
If you are in a hurry, you can go alone. But if you are going too far, look for a partner. Sasakawa, we are going too far. We want a partner on this journey.
We are currently studying for possibility of supporting agricultural finance two-step loan.
With the slogan, Life Begins at 40, just as Sasakawa Africa Association has reached 40, it is aiming at deepening impact across farming communities.
Whatever policy you need to implement, you have to think twice.
We need to protect our neighbors and we work together to make sure that farmers have access to good roads.
Experts and policy makers say the goal is not only to sustain gains already recorded, but to ensure that more smallholder farmers benefit from innovation that are transforming agriculture across the country. Yahana Sahasambaro, NTA News.
Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma has urged leaders at all levels to remain committed to reforms that promote transparency, accountability, and national development. The governor was speaking at the 15th edition of the Distinguished Emeka Anyaoku Annual Lecture Series on Good Governance. The program he describes as apt in addressing leadership issues in the country. Kate also reports that the theme of this year's lecture is imperative of good governance. Her report is here presented.
The 15th edition of the Distinguished Emeka Anyaoku Lecture Series in Owerri, among other things, eschewed the responsibilities of both the leaders and the led towards achieving good governance. The keynote speaker and Vice Chancellor Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu University, Anambra State, Professor Kate Omenora, highlights that in order to achieve good governance, citizens must contribute their quota through positive actions. Governor Hope Uzodinma, while giving credence to the lecture series and way forward for a better Nigeria, thanked the organizers for the choice of the title of the lecture, noting that the man Emeka Anyaoku promoted good governance and indeed a distinguished Nigerian.
Good governance is creating an environment where businesses can thrive, where young people can find jobs, and where families can live with dignity. The
honoree and former Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Emeka Anyaoku, and the former governor of Old Anambra State, Senator Jim Nwobodo, who is the chairman on the occasion, also contributed on way forward in achieving good governance in the country.
The organizers of this lecture series approached me 16 years ago to seek my agreement to their plan to establish this lecture series in my name, and they told me it was for the benefit of the young people.
This annual lecture series on good governance and leadership is not merely an intellectual exercise. It is in truth a mirror held up to our nation.
The event attracted government functionaries as well as students from secondary and tertiary levels of education.
Well, that concludes Panorama for today. Thanks for watching.